With the assistance of Cuso International and Global Affairs Canada, the Division of Gender Affairs held a community engagement on Monday, February 12th, to present their designs for the Gender Equality Project. In response to input received at the October 24th, 2023 session, stakeholders were re-engaged in two-way communication during the session titled The Way Forward: Strengthening Partnerships Within St. Lucia's Gender Ecosystem. Division of Gender Affairs Director Janie Joseph says at this year's engagement, the department wanted to hear from the participants their thoughts on the process already in motion. Joseph notes the gender equality policy strategy is in the process of being developed.
We chose the opportunity under this project to discuss what the processes were, what the goals were, etc., with the stakeholders. They give us quite a bit of feedback on the priorities that were chosen, and at today's session we are hoping to look at those priorities in a little more detail, look at the recommendations that were coming from the October session, and give them another opportunity to further develop some of the points that they had brought up themselves, and also to show them how some of what they had suggested had been incorporated into the strategy already.
Communication advisor for the Blueprints project, Christy House, says there will be great discussion following the summary of last year's recommendations by stakeholders. She notes today's session will look at the draft national strategy. House says during the October 24th session, stakeholders were divided into groups of 4 where they tackled the gender equality strategic priorities.
We're looking at the draft national strategy for gender, the policy and the strategy, and asking for recommendations from and suggestions and comments from stakeholders, those being civil society organizations and our gender focal points within the ministries. Today's session we're looking at those comments that were provided to us from stakeholders and discussing them and seeing either how they have already been addressed within the current draft strategy, or if we need to somehow weave them in and incorporate them. So that's a large part of what we're doing here today.
Raise Your Voice President Catherine Seelys was among various stakeholders in attendance. Seelys notes the island has been working towards effecting a national gender strategy for quite some time now. Seelys says she is hopeful that the outcome of these forums can be fruitful because it is about time to break away from dangerous and outdated gender norms and biases.
We in St. Lucia have a rich history of colonialism, so we tend to think that rights are not for everybody, but we believe if we have a gender strategy, then we can begin to look at issues across the board and to begin to better support women and men, boys and girls, and we can also begin to shed some of the stigma and discrimination we have around the LGBTQI community. We must remember that Great Britain repealed all those laws 40 to 50 years ago, but we as former colonies are still holding on to very damaging social norms that creates a lot of stigmatization, exclusion for particular members of the community. And we're hoping that through this exercise we can begin to achieve some of those goals.
The Blueprints for Gender Equality project is a 4-year project funded by Global Affairs Canada, implemented in the Caribbean by Cuso International, targeting technical assistance to ministries, departments and agencies to effectively integrate gender equality and social inclusion principles into government programs, policies and services. For Choice News Now, I am Chelsea Austinay.